Good evening. How's it going, everyone? Welcome. It's a bit of a later stream today. Kind of busy during most of the day. Sort of catching up. Busy week as well. But we are here. We're back. Yeah, a little bit of as the title says. You're sort of looking at implementing, I guess, restructured data flow. So over the last couple streams, we've been sort of looking at well, this whole setup. If I build the engine, you'll see. Just sort of looking at weapon configuration and loadouts and all these sort of very like core features for the engine or for the game, I guess. And the goal today was, so we've following a lot of the implementation, we've had some internal discussions as a team, and we've sort of ended up really having to think about what we want from this system and how we envision that expanding further. And then based on those discussions, we've gone and built out sort of the data flow, an ERD, if anyone's familiar, of how this should sort of work. So the first step, which I was working on earlier, is we're sort of redesigning a little bit the home screen. There's more concrete designs, but I will hold off on showing those for now. The main point is that this like soldier screen's getting a little bit of a revamp, but before we can do the UI revamp there, the, I guess, first step is to set up the data flow in a way that makes sense. And that's what we spent some time on earlier, and I've got on my laptop to the side, I've got the ERD that we settled on. Because up until now, we've sort of handled this in the loadout handler, which defines a lot of these types. And a loadout is sort of, at least by this sort of standard, is, sorry, I was just checking the levels of the background music because they seemed a little loud to me, but the levels are showing me they're alright. So loadout is basically just an array of items with configurations, which is not quite what it should be. So the first step, I think, is structurally we need to define struct f soldier data. That might be worth renaming later. But the base concept is just that a soldier, I'm looking over here, will have an array of possible loadouts, right? So we will need a struct f loadout as well. And again, let's give that a generated body. Josh is saying hello on the there's I don't know, we use Figma for designs, and there's like a little hand wavy feature that you can like clap if two people wiggle their mouse together, so that's very sweet. Hello, Josh. So yeah, I don't know if this is the best place to store these as well, so I'm just gonna do like a to-do, move these someplace better. But for now I'm interested in, yeah, essentially a loadout for the time being, an array of loadout items. And then we can do fname loadout name, and then int 8 max loadout size. So, and then each soldier can have, what do you mean import? It's here. Or do I need to do these inversely because files are top to bottom? That sounds about right. And then a soldier. Soldier has a few things. There's going to be an F name, soldier name, that's fine. And then obviously T array F loadouts for loadouts. Yeah, so each loadout is comprised of items, and each soldier is comprised of multiple loadouts. So there are obviously going to be other factors here, like, I don't know, int, I don't know, we can use an int 32 XP. And then cosmetics and shit will be part of this as well, eventually. And then in theory, I think that makes sense. And then the only thing so this will complicate things just in terms of like having to iterate through all of this data in order to get to things. But it should also in theory like make things fairly okay for us when actually setting up the UI. But actually, no, there's a further consideration here, which I sort of must have forgotten to mention during our design session, which I'm going to note for myself here to do. Soldier. Now I'm not sure. The thought that I'm having is that, like, conceptually, I would want, you know, if I configure a weapon a certain way, I would want that configuration to be available across all of the loadouts for a certain soldier, right? So if a soldier, if I just get one loadout and I configure it, but then I'd also want to modify it per loadout, right? Like maybe I've got a sniper loadout where I have a Kar 98K with a scope, and then I have a more infantry or close range focused one where I have it without the scope. And so, but I would also like by default, I don't know. But also like, loadout should store item configs so that we can switch to from config. Like that should be a feature, right? Like if I configure a weapon as a sniper and then I switch out to an MP40 and then I switch back to the Kar 98K, it should still have the scope attached, right? Like that to me feels like a fairly obvious functionality that's maybe a little less obvious on the implementation side. So I'm just going to make all this blueprint rewrite because we probably want it to be. Int 8 is not supported by blueprints. Okay. What about int 16? Just int. Okay, what is the size of just int? Okay, no, you don't get to update on stream. UE5 int size. Yeah, I understand that like int 32 is a 32-bit integer. Or is it just an int 32? Okay, you know what? Int it will be, because that's what it lets me use. It won't let me use an int 16. So I guess it's just an int. Unless, I guess we could, I don't know, to do. Maybe consider using int unneeded in BP. Because to be honest, we could get away with an int 4. And I think my camera's not happy with me. Fair enough. Let's give it the good old restart. It did all of last stream without issues. But here we are. Do you want to not be super blown out for me? Cool. Did all of last stream without any issues. But I guess today it's feeling a little fussy. But yeah, man, I could be saving 24 bits there. But I think this basically is the like fundamental structure that we've got described here. So now this is I'm gonna hit compile now and it's gonna break a bunch of shit because actually no, it shouldn't break a bunch of shit yet because all of this is exposed properly, but we need to change how this is exposed. Let's is it just deprecated macro? Or is it just deprecation mark, show me. All right, it's a deprecated like this. I need to paste like this because for some reason Control V just doesn't work. So now we should get deprecated function warnings throughout, which is helpful. Because then I can get it right a new. I mean, get loadout. It probably like makes sense, right? To be able to like get a loadout. I guess the other question there is, do we want to store all of this in maps or something where we have an index that we can access, right? Because like currently the only way to obtain like a specific loadout is to like step down the tree, right? Like figure out the soldier, then figure out the loadout, and even then you sort of have to like step through all of them. I mean, not really, to be fair. Tier arrays are, I don't know what I'm saying, I'm being stupid. Tier arrays are obviously indexed by the position in the array, right? Like I could do something like return. Nope. What's my caps look on? I can do something like return loadout. Yeah, obviously this returns the T array, right? But I could do something like that, right? Because obviously it's indexed. So no, that was silly. And this could be F soldier data. And then maybe yoink all that. We probably want like a okay, fuck the deprecation shit. We're just gonna go with the nuclear option and just delete it all and deal with the compilers. We probably also want like a add soldier. Which, yeah, these should not be deprecated, of course. And add soldier, we probably want to new soldier data. New soldier. Oh, because this is, yeah. Loadouts, empty array of loadouts. Did we expose max loadouts? Right. No, we didn't. Okay. Keyboard's gone all funny. I have been having issues, like, yeah, for some reason, like, a bunch of the keys just didn't work out of nowhere. Tab, escape, backspace, that sort of thing. I think my keyboard's just going. I've literally got a new keyboard picked out. I'm just waiting, because payday's on Friday, so like 6 days. I'm waiting to get there, and then on, like, the day before payday, I'll be like, okay, I have the money in my bank account. It's not going anywhere. I can buy this new keyboard. And then, yeah. And then I guess we probably also want avoid, delete, soldier. I guess int soldier index. That'd be a const. I think this will grow fairly quickly, to be honest, because we're going to need methods for updating like soldier names and updating soldier loadouts and stuff like that, right? Okay. But I think I'm at the point where like I'm like on a base level like reasonably happy with what this is, but let's build, because this is going to break a bunch of stuff and I'm going to have to go in and fix it. There's going to be references to those old functions. Yeah, so set loadout. And then we'll need to declare like a default soldier as well. I'm gonna close a bunch of this like other stuff that's just not relevant right now. And then this. To be honest here, like this is gonna get rewritten anyway. And that should compile now. Okay, the other thing I might need to tweak Because I believe that, like, in the game instance, we were pulling, I'm pretty sure the game instance has, yeah, default loadout. So I'm actually going to stop it here and say tier A f soldier data, default soldier config, set. Let's do avoid set soldiers, because we'll probably want that my thinking is, sorry, we'll want that when, because eventually all this data will be serialized, right? And we'll be sending it to a server. So we will want to like manually set the soldier data initially as soon as we load the game for the first time that session. So when you open the game, right, we will send a call to a server which will have all that data serialized. And so we'll need to deserialize it and then load it into the sort of loadout handler. So it's probably worth having a function like that. Although it may be worth not exposing that to a blueprint. And yeah, the more I think about it, the more like complex this gets, because suddenly the loadout handler will also need to handle, whenever you add a soldier, right, this will need to be like serialize and update backend here. And here. And here. So there will need to be, sure, switch to British English. It's gonna tell me I've, god dang it. But yeah, so this will have to be serialized and then sent across the network to a backend. I have one other thing I'd like to do that's been bothering me, and I realize that this is entirely my fault, but this material should be emissive. And in fact, maybe we should even just like not have a base color. Like it should be purely emissive. Actually, maybe no, let's have a base color. That seems like a good idea. Shading model unlit. Yeah, that's what I want. Whoa, that's bright now. Is it because this light is now out of date? Josh has texted me when loadout has soldier and soldier has loadout. I'm perplexed, Josh. I'm somewhat perplexed, I'll be honest. Alright, BP soldier will have issues now because yeah, so we're gonna have to get soldiers. And then soldiers we're going to have to get. Can we split missing blueprint exposed properties? Okay. All of these are blueprint read, right? All the structs are blueprint type. What is not blueprint exposed, you dummy? That's getting F soldier data, which is a blueprint struct, a blueprint type U struct. Because that's what we're returning here, right? Returning soldiers at the defaults only. Does this need to be? Let's say this is blueprint read only. No, blueprint read only. Because we... should not be used on private. Oh, because this is private. But that should be fine, right? Because this is being returned by get soldiers, which is a public. And it returns a copy anyway. Okay. Well, let's see. Fortunately, the compile times are pretty quick. Yeah, I'm very surprised that's not just working out the box. I'm wondering if I've got something marked the wrong way. So sorry, give me the compiler. Yeah. Can I split you? No, I cannot. For some reason this array is just not like splittable. Because again, this is one of those things where we will need to add more functionality down the line. Because ideally, when you spawn as BP Soldier, it should be pulling from a loadout you've selected. Josh is saying use the get node. Is this because I need to get a copy? Then we can split. Fair enough. I don't know what these blueprint people are on. But thank you, Josh. Thank you for backseat programming. And you have to modify the initial loadout. Okay, I'm not going to... I'm just going to get the 0th loadout. The items can go in there. That's horrific. But that's the price of progress, I think. But obviously the ideal version of this is that you will see your soldiers in the game, and you'll pick one, and then that will select an index, right, that I guess we can then put in there. And your soldier will have a loadout that will then go in there, and that's how we'll grab this data. But for now, we're just going to do the thing where we just set it, and then yeah, here. So we're going to go. So this is Ellie, and we're currently not enforcing max loadout, so that's fine. And then this is actually what I want. So car 98K with the scope, and then I want an M1911. This will be test. And now, I mean, in theory, that should just sort of work. Alright, these are in their own thing now, aren't they? There's like a Warbound Maps plugin, yeah. I should not have loaded train yard. That was my fault. I apologize sincerely. They just love Unreal. Okay, I'm literally gonna go in here and I'm gonna kill it because that's gonna take fucking ages. I don't want to sit around waiting for that. But okay, use the get node is what I've learned in Blueprints. But yeah. So now I suppose the thing that we want to do is, I don't remember if I changed the classes. Or the weapon configurator is still the loadout screen, if I need to rename it again. Because I think I renamed it once already. Okay, let's open the training map. That should open faster. Okay, this is not the training map I remember. I think this is what I'm thinking of. No. In the FPS plugin still. Thanks, Josh. It's like I've got my own little like assistant here that's just like listening to all my... You're like my little open claw. Sorry, that's kind of derogatory. I apologize. I'm gameplay dev. That's the one I remember. Alien Warbound. Alright. This should sort of just work, I think. It in fact does. Excellent. So you can see here we've got our M1911, we've got our Car 98K, with the scope on it.
Push and chambered. Push and chambered.
So that data flow does just sort of work. It's sort of an odd loadout. I'm just sort of thinking right now, like. But yeah. Okay, that's a good sort of base verification. Now, I don't know why I shut the editor. I'm going to just run it again. Because I want to take a look at what the base class is of the widget that we're rendering for the Lake Soldiers. The one additional sort of layer above this is obviously each soldier belongs to a faction, and that's not a concept yet. So that's actually, I think, something, Josh, I don't know if you're listening, but telepathically, we might have forgotten that in our design, Josh, for the database is the soldier. Whoa, that's bright. At least I forgot it. That much I know. Is this a lighting build issue? I forget how you build lighting. Build lighting only. This should be quick. I wonder if it's just simply going to be very bright. But yeah, the faction of the soldiers obviously important as well. Okay, I wonder if it's just simply like too bright. If I do this and I multiply 0.01. Okay, no, it is in fact just very bright constantly. Oh no, okay. No idea why that needs to be so dim. I think it's just because it's like really dark and the camera's exposure is probably set to really low. But okay, I mean if that works, I will save and apply that, I guess. But no, what I wanted to come here for was this UI main menu soldiers, W soldiers. This is still based on the weapon configurator. And in fact, this is now actually, we've done some proper internal designing. Josh did it, it looks amazing. So I'm going to now sort of kick off of that and start the populating of this with that. So I think the first step is just going in here and renaming. Yeah, we've gone through a couple of iterations of this, as you might be able to tell. So I want to edit rename. So this should be soldier screen. Okay. And then this is going to be soldier. What do you say? Soldier editor. I'm not gonna core redirect just because we have so many core redirects already. That will mean that it will break in here, but I will manually reparent that. So I'm actually gonna straight rebuild here, and then from there I can start actually writing this again. This is gonna be a big class, I think, because the soldier editor is basically just gonna handle all of soldiers, all of loadouts. Weapons we will pop to like a separate UI, so that can be its own thing. But soldiers is gonna be everything, basically. So it's gonna be a big one, I think. Alright, go on, yell at me that this doesn't have a parent. Asset actions. Can I reparent you from here? Or should I have core redirected and then reparented? Is that what I should have done? Okay, apparently this is just not a thing that's possible. Excellent. Let's see. Core. So we just want this to be I've never manually. Why are there two? What do we call it? Soldier editor. Okay. I've never manually class redirected something. That's quite funny. We'll see if that worked. If that worked, I'll be very chuffed. We're gonna ignore that I could have had that happen entirely automatically if I'd clicked the checkbox, but you know what, that's lame. Literally a genius. Yeah, I get it. So can I... My question is, I actually don't know this. If I've reparented it, will it like, or if I've like done that, will it now automatically like do its thing and now I can remove the core redirect? Because that's what I'm wondering. But okay, relevant. So this right here, right now, all of this needs to go. Basically, is what's gonna happen here, right? So if I'm sorry, I'm looking. I've got Figma open, which is where we do our designs. I'm just checking, because this is now going to need to be, this is just going to be soldiers. We're going to have a weapon list view, and then we're going to add a button. Warbound button base. Hello? Yes. We use the icon override. Plus. Sure, that's a plus, right? I think we should maybe just use the text. This should probably be like that, and then this should probably be like that. Yeah, right? And then I think we can style the buttons, because this is common UI and this is something Josh has set up. let's say like that. Right, and then here, this is where we're going to need to... Okay, so we're going to rename this to soldier list view. And that's going to give me, that's going to start giving me errors because this is bound inside C++ to a variable of the same name. And then this also needs to change. So we need to... This is also like based off of... This is common UI. So now, the soldier editor CPP. So all of this nonsense is sort of kind of useless now. Because we also soldier list view. Right, so this should now, if I load this, this should bind to the correct widget here. And then from there we should be able to fill it with data from C++, which is just going to be, it's going to be much simpler than this stuff. Because this was quite a long asynchronous load of primary assets, because they sort of, you know, you're grabbing data from lots of different places. Whereas what we're going to do now is going to be synchronous, and it's going to be just grabbing the, effectively the stuff that we set up in the loadout handler, right? We're just going to use get soldiers basically. And that's going to give us all the data. So this should now be bound. I forget if there are like bindings here. Or not. I always forget how this works. But okay, the next thing that I need to make is, and this is where I'm gonna just real quick publicly, and I don't want to do that. I've leaked enough things about Warbound in the past. So here, let's, so in the same way that we have this like weapon display widget here, right? We need to add a directory, and that's going to be soldier display widget. And then this is going to have an Unreal class. It's a U object. And this is going to be called uSoldierData. Okay. And then I'm pretty sure we just do fSoldierData in here. And then we need to make Okay, this I actually did not need to call you soldier data. We can just call this soldier data because the U is added automatically because now I've made you soldier data. That's not very smart of me. Yeah, so this does not need a core redirect because it's not used anywhere. So I'm not worried about redirecting anything. And then we're going to add a common UI, and that's going to be based off Warbound. Oh no, sorry. Okay. This is going to be called soldier entry. I think, right? That's what we called. I don't know, we called it soldier display widget, and that's going to be based off of Warbound button base. And then in fact, I'm going to rename this a second time. This is going to be called U. I'm trying to be, sorry, I want to point at my monitors if you can see what I'm pointing at. I'm trying to follow what we've done for the weapon display widget already. So this should be soldier widget info. So I have a soldier widget info and our soldier display widget. In our display widget, okay. Soldier display widget, I'm just gonna pull up the weapon display widget, frankly. Just gonna do that there. Nice and easy. Quick little yoink, yoink. So public user object list entry. That includes as well. And then, okay, we will want a utext block. And this will be soldier name. And then, you know what, why don't we do another utext block? Be soldier XP. Why not? With that, we'll forward declare. So we're gonna have to import. And then, yeah, we'll want the native on entry. Sorry, this. Then I'm. And then this is going to be soldier widget info. And then in here, if soldier name XP what expose? We exposed soldier data dot soldier name. I made it. Okay, this needs to be public. Why are you being upset? Text block is incomplete. Why are you incomplete? Please be complete. What is incomplete about you? Is this because these need to be public as well? Oh, and yes, this needs to be set texts as well. Soldier name to F text. So these are currently what F names. There's a cast here. F name to F text. I don't know why Unreal has so many. Okay, so F text is actually just the default. Okay, so we should be using F text because F text supports localization, which we all want. Okay, if you say so. Okay, so that should solve that one, and then this is we're going to have to F text. Int to F text U5. What's the conversion look like? Okay, should we just do text? Will this preset 0D? Yeah, it's doing some nonsense. Let's just nick this guy's code. This is a time-honored tradition of programmers. I hate that I have to. I swear I'm hitting Control V. I promise. And this will be info.soldier data.xp. And then this can be set text f text from string formatted num, and then this can be a const, sure. And then we actually just want this to be, I mean, it's an int, isn't it? Is this gonna, give me, because I know that in like C you have different numbers that, or different letters that, you know, what you angry at. With struct, shares engine name. With struct f soldier widget info. Is it? Loadout handler. Am I trip? I mean, I realize that it's literally live on stream, but I literally don't remember calling this f soldier widget info. It might be. I'll tell you what it might be. It might be one of the renames. Is that gonna break this? Okay, I think that was most likely one of the like smart rename things that that Ryder does. I think, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Whoa, okay. Binary. Alright, go on then, compile and we'll go back to your error. I think. Is this another like rename error? Oh, because this is no longer the right yeah, okay. Nice, that got rid of all those silly warnings as well. Yeah, I actually don't know if ftext is the best thing for soldier name, because now that I think about it, we're not really going to be localized. I mean, I guess you are, right? Are you? It's usually customizable. Okay, that's a strong start. But I'm thinking particularly for people in languages that don't use Latin characters, right? Like, will you want to localize that? Is that a thing? But surely a name's a name, right? I don't know. Why are you crashing then? What have I cocked up? Well, that's not a very useful call stack. Yeah, like, respectfully, I'm pretty sure the bug isn't an f-runnable thread win. Well, that is an interesting one. This is with symbols as well, I think. Well, that is a little perplexing, ladies and gentlemen, I must say. I'm very confused as to what that could be, you know? Let's try an early return here. Oh. I don't know, maybe it's something with the, again, I'd be surprised. Yeah, that's the whole point. That's just super... I swear that was like if I was to comment this out. And then, okay, it's this. Maybe I shouldn't do streams in the evening. My brain clearly is. It's not doing happy things. Why are you upset at me, mate? What are you on about? Unreachable it's commented out. I guess it's not commented out. Okay, fine. I'll comment it out. You gonna be happy now? Huh? Okay. Well, let's see if... Again, I'd be very surprised if that fixed this, like, odd crash, but... I guess we'll find out. It did not. I'm actually going to send that one off to Epic. Most of the time I hit like ignore and close because most of the time the crash is my fault, and by sending it to Epic I'm just I'm just like making some poor sod who's probably been replaced with AI by now just sort through a bunch of crash reports. But okay. Could it be? This is just sort of a dodgy bit of code. Again, I have no idea why, but it's very hard to figure out when the only stack trace I have is like malloc. Like, okay, you are mallocing something, I understand. What are you mallocing, please? It was not that either. Okay, slightly radical proposition. I'm gonna... Okay, I was just checking that my old File Explorer window isn't on here because I'm literally just gonna move all of these guys out of the Warbound folder. And now if I just, yeah, if they're gone, now we should be able to build because they're not referenced anywhere. Maybe it was updating that sorry, just gonna yoink this little spam bot out. Yeah, if it was that, I'd be confused. The other thing I can think of is that it was the changing of thing from... Okay, no, see, it has gone through now. So for some reason it just doesn't like my soldier widget. How bizarre. It's kind of funny because it's literally identical to the other widget in just about everything, right? Okay, if I move these back in. Like, let's compare. All good, crashes the editor. You know what, let's do it each file at a time. That's fine, I've got copies. How strange. I'm so curious. It's like 83 or something when it crashed. 87, yeah, here, when it starts to load Python. Okay, so soldier widget info is crashing it for some reason. Both the C++ files are empty. Both are UObjects and have public methods. I guess it's missing edit anyway. I'd be very surprised. I think most likely it's this import, if anything. I wonder if I can forward declare struct. I'm pretty sure I can forward declare structs. Yeah, so that predictably did not. Okay, if we take that out now. Okay, so forward declare won't. What if we make it a pointer? No. Inappropriate pointer. Cannot expose pointer. Okay. I wonder why it doesn't like that. Okay, let's just nick this then. Because I assume this will go through now. It might just be a fact of like just needing to use these primitives. Right, like I was trying to be a little clever by just passing the struct in, but it may just simply be a case of mirroring the data in the actual widget itself. Oh no. Okay. So that's still crashed. What if I fully delete? What the fuck's going on? Why am I unable to allocate anything in soldier widget info? It's a U object that's... This is so bizarre. Yeah. I'm so confused. Actually just bamboozled. Okay, what if it's just literally an empty U class? Could it be the path? Could it not like soldier display widget as a directory name? I mean, I'd be perplexed, but okay, no, it got past that time. So it just doesn't like mallocing anything in soldier widget info. Why the fuck is that? That's so weird. let's bring back. Oh. Yeah, I get it, you've loaded. Hello? Okay, let's bring back the display widget. And then run it. And see what happens. Okay, right, so this will obviously fail to compile, so just comment that out. I wonder. I do wonder. Okay, so that's fine. That's chilling. That can have shit in it. I'm just not allowed to malloc anything in the frickin' widget info, I guess. Okay. Well, let's try. Okay, so this is now, for all intents and purposes, an exact mirror. Okay. Exact mirror. How much do you want to bet this is going to get me the same malloc error when it loads Python? 87% is what we're looking for. Ah, what the fuck? Why does this just break Unreal Memory? I'm so perplexed. Okay. Look, chat, I think I think this is one of those things I think I'm just gonna like try and restart my computer. And hope that fixes it, because this seems to be some weird memory allocation issue. Maybe it's I don't know. I really don't know. I can only theorize. But it's about the time that I was intending to finish the stream anyway. So I apologize that that's sort of an anticlimactic ending. I'm very excited to see you in a week and show you what will hopefully be a decent amount of progress on this page. Show you the soldiers and yeah, all that fun stuff. But until then, I'm going to go restart my computer and figure out why the Python wrapper is failing to malloc some shit. And until then, until next time, have a lovely rest of your weekend. Thanks for tuning in so late, and I will catch you in a week's time. See you then. Bye bye.